Hey everyone, welcome to Go Live, the Saturday evening talk show where we get all saucy and talk about the latest and greatest in gaming. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're in the UK and you're watching the football, just skip that. It's coming home anyway. There's spoilers for you. But thank you so much for joining us, man. We have a great panel, as always, of guests to get into the topics, and a lot has been happening. And we picked these guests in particular as well to get their nuanced, balanced takes on what's actually happening in the industry. You can probably glean from the title of this, but there's a lot more to discuss. Also, as always, as you know, for the regulars, this is your show as much as it's ours, so feel free to suggest stuff in the chat as well. We'll try and work those in, and along with the super chats, which we're always grateful for. So thank you for joining us. Before I get into the guests, Asa, man, looking smiley and happy. What's going on? Do you think it's coming home, or is it just generally you being smiley?
What are you talking about? I'm always smiley and happy. Everyone knows that. It's my reputation. It's that happy, energetic guy keeping things running. And I'm good. And we're talking games, so of course I am. Football, my kids were watching it. I watched the first half. People that are here presumably don't want to hear about that. If you are watching the football, I promise we're more interested in the commentators, so do both. And yeah, let's have a good one. Let's have a good one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go into the chat. Keep it nice and civil in chat, Mr. Mercury. I can see you. I let that comment in because I like swimming in the sauce. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Returning to the guests, and it has been a while, both of you.
Yes.
Yes, it has. Well, no particular order, and I'm loving the shirt. Are you both wearing the same shirt by any chance?
I'm wearing a trophy room shirt that I got from him supporting, of course, Pride Month that just passed. Mrs. Boomstick bought two, I bought one, and I figured, you know what, Joe's here. Let's continue the party, and here we go.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
That's right. And they're still for sale, and 100% of the proceeds go to the Trevor Project, which is a really awesome charity, I think, worldwide, if I'm not mistaken, but it helps LGBT youth. So yeah, go over there. Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And great designs, and make sure you support that. But joining us, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time. He's been a great supporter of us for a while, and we've been. I've had the pleasure of sneaking into his amazing podcast with great guests. If you haven't checked it out, I'm sure you already heard of it. But ladies and gentlemen, we give you Boomstick. Backwards with Boom. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. This is a long time coming back. I'm happy to travel over to the UK, the other side of the pond, hang out with you guys, talk gaming, and of course, my little brother Joe is here today. What a treat! This is good. I mean, listen, I gotta tell you, usually during the summer, especially because now next week we're coming into like literally the middle of the summer, it's dried up with news. But this week, my God, there was so much.
There's a lot going on, and which is why we've had to have this little naughty gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, or the guy who reps the trophy room, PlayStation-centric podcaster who is always killing it with his positivity, and he shines brightly with his amazing content. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Luke's best friend, Mr. Badbit.
Whoa! Did he tell you to say that? Because legally, we're in arbitration right now. I'm not. We hate each other. I need to make that known. Luke Lord of the Insipid Ghost is not my friend. No, we did play Halo 5 today, ranked SWAT, and I am here to say you are talking to a Diamond Level 2 player. So please put respect on my name, okay?
Respect on your name. Respect on your name.
Put respect on it.
I have PlayStation guys play multiplayer games. I thought you could only play single player linear third person games.
You know, that's what they tell me. But like, I have over 500 hours in Sea of Thieves, so here I am. I'm living my best life. You know.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Of course.
It's going to be a saucy show, man. It's going to be Good. Already positive vibes all around. Scatterlights, thank you already for the $2 super chat. PlayStation fires back with a water gun. Hey, there he goes.
Squirt, squirt.
Squirt, squirt. Well, that's a good segue. Good segue into what's happening in the industry. This has been a big week for PlayStation. PlayStation has not done one but two. That's four. Two studio acquisitions. The big one though is Housemarque, and I don't know if they can classify that as a water gun Scatterlights, because for me, Housemarque are supremely talented.
Yeah.
But what is your take on it? How big is it? Let me get Mr. Badbit's view on it, because you're a PlayStation guy. Is this big? Is it big?
I mean, look, I saw a few comments of like some people saying like this is like our Bethesda type of thing, and I'm like, that's no.
Please don't say that.
Don't say that. That's silly. To me, the way I see it, this acquisition is like, it's like them coming home. So, look, grand scheme of things, they haven't made a Xbox game since like a golf game on 360. So for me, I'm looking at this acquisition of like, this is a team that PlayStation fans love, the hardcore know and love. And this is them now finally going out there in the AAA space and actually making some awesome arcade shooters in that AAA space. So like, I love Returnal for all of its technical flaws. But like, for what they were able to achieve at their first try with what was a small project as well, they did a really great job with, especially on the story end. I really liked the weird, alien-esque story that they got going for them there. So to see them be acquired by Sony is kind of the same of like Insomniac being acquired by Sony.
Yeah.
It's just another team that is synonymous with PlayStation, that if you were an average consumer, you thought they were already here. Like they were already a first party studio. So to me, it's the one thing that I do like about what I've seen out of the two right now acquisitions is these are teams that have built a strong relationship with PlayStation. This isn't like a random acquisition. Not to throw any shade towards Xbox, that has been on a buying spree, continue to be on a buying spree, because Ninja Theory is a huge get. They're a fantastic studio. But that's what that's what I'm liking out of the PlayStation end is, these games or these studios, you would think they were a Sony studio. Yeah. So I really dig it as a PlayStation fan and a new fan of Housemarque. I do want to make that known. Great get, really great get.
I've been a fan since I played Resogun, which I platinumed because I just fell in love with the game, and I really like Returnal. I completed it pretty soon after I got it, but amazing game as well. But but not perfect, far from perfect. But Boom, I want to get your view on this, because there's a like bad bits, like Joseph says, they have always been really a PlayStation studio, essentially, with games coming out there. So a lot of detractors are saying, well, it's really more or less the same. By the way, shout out to Cole Eastwood and his XS t-shirt.
Yes. What's up, Colt? How's everything, brother?
I hope he's good. He's got his AC fixed, so he's feeling better. What I was going to say is, like, what's the good that comes out of this? If the studio's already presumably working on PlayStation games and it has no games coming out for Xbox, some people are saying, well, is there any value in that? What would you say to that?
I would say that if you don't think there's value there, then you really are looking out of the glass that's specifically for a fanboy. You have to look at the much bigger picture here. Yes, they have specifically worked with Sony, and they have made some incredible exclusives. They make arcade exclusives. It's a look, when you talk about Sony, most people immediately equate them with these big AAA monster, single player, story driven, over the shoulder type of games. And with these types of moves that they're making, let's say, for instance, Housemarque is confirmed, right? Let's just say Blue Point that comes through, right? And they also get Arc System Works. Each one of these developers brings a new piece to their portfolio that's different than what people think of Sony being just the AAA studio bombs, right?
Absolutely.
They're going to bring, if Guilty Gear is exclusive, they're going to have that IP. Blaze Blue's another fantastic IP in the fighting genre, right? You look at what Blue Point does. What Sony does so well is they celebrate their classic IPs. Blue Point could go back, and now that they're under the roof and the tutelage of SIE, they're going to have the funding to say, Jim Ryan is probably going to say, or Herman Holtz more so, what franchise do you guys want? And they'll go look in the catalog and say, I think we could do this. And they're going to make an amazing reboot of whatever they go. And Housemarque, listen, what could you say? They've been making games since the PlayStation 3, since HD Stardust, right? Which was fantastic. And all they've done is make incredible games. So now what Sony has done with these smaller studios is bring new life to their portfolio, giving the player something different outside of just the regular big budgeted arcade, AAA games. But now, because these studios are smaller, I think we may get more experiences sooner than having to wait 5 years for the next God of War or Last of Us 3 or the next Uncharted game.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. I actually didn't even think of that. A lot of big well, there were a lot of detractors. There were some articles doing the rounds a couple of months ago where there were critiques against PlayStation that they were focusing so much on their big AAA games.
Yep.
They may be forsaking the smaller ones, but you're absolutely spot on. These studio acquisitions suggest otherwise, especially Housemarque, even though you'd say Returnal is a AAA game, but they're very different. They're very different. And that variety is there. So, and you're right, though. And also, another thing I didn't think about until you just mentioned it, Boom, is the frequency with which we can see the releases. Because
the smaller titles will be coming out less, and we won't have to wait 5 years for the next Guilty Gear. We might have to wait 2 years, right?
That's assuming Arc goes through, but
yeah. And I mean, again, that's one of those studios that, I mean, again, there's been a few Guilty Gears on Xbox, but everything else has been, even like the new one is exclusive to PlayStation. So they're like one of those studios that when you think of them, at least I do, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a PlayStation studio.
Yeah, definitely. What I was also at, well, actually, let me get Asa. What's your take on specifically on Housemarque? This whole point about them just being a PlayStation studio, so it may not be big, and how big a boon is it for PlayStation? Do you think?
Well, like you were saying, there obviously is some truth to the fact that they've been working very closely with Sony to the point that it's fairly common to see people say that Returnal is a first-party PlayStation game, despite it technically not being. Now it is, right? So, I mean, it secures them, doesn't it? It secures them from any other external influences. It secures them from like looking at other options on the table, and they would have had other options on the table, not just like talking about Xbox, but Tencent and whoever else, EA. Amazon, plenty of people will be looking to hire studios like that. So now Sony have locked them down. Good for them. They've got that heritage. Super Stardust HD was the first PlayStation game to feature trophies at all. So they've obviously worked very closely with Sony for a long time. It's a good get, but less interesting than Nixxes to talk about. So
yeah. And I do want to say that there's a reason why Sony is acquiring these studios as well. It's you alluded to it, is we're going to see a lot more of these acquisitions, and not just from Xbox or PlayStation, a lot of them from Tencent, whatever Amazon does, Ubisoft or whatever. There's going to be a lot of studios or a lot of publishers and corporations that are going to peer into gaming for the first time in a really long time. Talking to, my good friend Ains from Season Gaming on our show Cast Co-op, he mentions it. Like, dev teams are only growing and expanding, and more of them are popping up. At the same exact time, you're seeing media companies like a WB, like Disney, like, what's the other one that they own? Was the Turner Network or whatever have you, looking at games for the first time to expand their portfolio of entertainment. So you're going to see a lot of companies look at gaming either for the first time or returning. So that's a huge thing. This is kind of maybe Sony saying, we're buying you because we know someone will pick you up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Also, just so you know, I'm hearing a little bit of interference.
What is that? That's not me.
Okay, it went away. Don't worry about it.
Okay. But while you were talking there, shout out to Fat Boy Horror with a £5 super chat. Goes, shout out to Mr. Boomstick and Mr. Bad Take. I think that was supposed to say Take. Mr.
Yeah. I get it. That's an inside joke. Ainsley paid someone to speak negatively. I get it.
And Luke also sends his regards through Fat Boy Horror. Thank you so much for that. Kayasanti, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for this $5 super chat. He goes, salute to you, gents. The studios were great gets for Sony, in my opinion. I'm excited for the next Housemarque game as a PS first party.
Good point.
Yeah, same. I don't think. I think it's a shame the problems with Returnal, because I think Asa, you summed it up really well. I think in your preview video where you said it'll be regarded as a future classic. I'll always get your words twisted, so forgive me if I got it wrong. But you said it'll be seen in the same light as Bloodborne and things like that.
I think so.
I see it that way. I don't know if you said it that way, Asa, but I see it that way because
I might have said that before I played it. Yeah, but.
Before you played it, after you played it, you thought something different. Asa wasn't the biggest fan of the game, but that game is like Marmite, and even though I liked it, I could see 100 reasons why people wouldn't. But I love that kind of Lovecraftian aliens vibe, the music. I was talking to Zorka. Zorka said the music was really depressing to me, which I can understand, but I like that kind of mood. It's weird. I'm weird. I'm a weird person. As you know from our source videos, I'm a strange person. But Asa, you also alluded to you said it was the more interesting acquisition. That was Nixxes. Why do you think that is? And what made you say that?
Nixxes, why I say it's more interesting. So arguably it's less interesting because it's less directly about games. So as gamers, we care about the games that are coming, right? But in terms of talking about industry and what's happening on a wider kind of strategic level, Nixxes don't own IP and they don't specifically make standalone games, right? They're a porting house. And very specifically in Sony's case, almost certainly they are there to port Sony first-person games to PC. And that's just... Right? It's not even controversial, right? Sony have pretty much said that's what they're going to be doing, right? But
it's controversial, man. PlayStation has no game.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna not actually say any more on that. There is more to say on that, and in fact, I was talking to Boom and Joe yesterday, so they know my thoughts on it already. But I'm gonna let you run a little conversation before spilling my guts. Go for it.
Spilling your guts, Boom. Oh, this. Okay. You know what? You come here for the sauce. Let me deliver the sauce, and bad bit you can counter my crazy madness. Let's just swim with the sauce, yeah? So PlayStation is doubling down on PC. This is a sign off. So for all those people, for all those years, berated Xbox for not actually having true exclusives because the games are coming out PC, you just had a big chunk of your ammo chucked out the toilet, which made no sense anyway, because apparently you had those magical PCs anyway. Does this sound the death knell for true exclusives on PlayStation? Can day and date PC games be a thing? What do you think this is? And please,
it's funny. It's funny because the talk of the town has been that you can only find X game on a PlayStation console, the plastic, whether that be a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. Yeah. And the reality is that on paper, that sounds wonderful. Right? That sounds wonderful, but business is not paper. Well, it's about paper. It's about money. And I'm sorry to say, when your cap market value is $44 billion, and I'm not saying that Sony it doesn't have the money, but they're looking over the other side of the line and saying, well, Microsoft has been doing this. They've let their fans run rampant and throwing shade at Microsoft for allowing these games onto PC day and date. Now, and they're looking and saying, well, we're literally leaving millions of dollars on the table. Again, first of all, it's still difficult to find a PlayStation 5. And even though we've seen them kind of walk back the line with generations, and again, I don't want to get into, Jim Ryan with his generations, comment. A lot of these games are going to be on PlayStation 4. There is 112, 114 million consoles out there. So they're going to still sell these games.
Yeah.
But the difference with first party for PlayStation specifically is only about 10 or 13% of the audience buys their first party games. It's not an astounding level. So they need to figure out another way to bring people into the PlayStation universe and buy their first party games. And by them closing the border off for PC all these years, they've left millions of dollars on the table. I think they've realized that. I think they want to make money. They've probably taken a page right out of Microsoft. Now, the day and date thing, I think they're a couple of years out from that. I really do. But I will say this, and this is just, you want to talk about saucy. Here we go. When that day happens, all I'm going to tell you is if your friend is one of these diehard, it can't go anywhere else PlayStation, please sleep over their house when this announcement is done. So they don't jump out the window. Lock the windows, tie them to the bed, because when that happens, people are going to be losing their shit.
If you need an exorcist, I'm here.
Yes. But I would be shocked if they made an announcement that Horizon Forbidden West was day and date to PC and PlayStation. I would fall out of my chair. I think we're a couple of years out from that. I think that we could see something 6 months, maybe, but we have to ask the question now. Was this new studio more of a necessity to make that happen quicker? You see, this is where the conversation is. That studio that they picked up it's a Dutch studio, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that they have them under SIE, could that speed up the process of getting these games day and date to PC?
Yeah.
Yep.
There could be. We don't know. We don't know what that is. We don't know what the reason is, but that's a very good question. Whether or not this is going to enable Sony to realize its plans and ambitions even faster. Joseph.
Yeah.
Why does Jim Ryan lie to us? This is not organic growth, eh? Why? We don't just buy studios. We nurture them, give birth to them, cradle them, breastfeed them, and then they become part of the familia. But this,
very much.
And then boom, 2 studios. Come on. Is this hypocrisy on the part of PlayStation and Sony?
I mean, if you read a quote, like if you read part of that quote, yes. But I think if you travel a little bit further down in the line, this is I think what that quote is trying to say is like what we want to do, and I think this is what PlayStation's mission is when it comes to acquisitions. Because again, we're going to see more of them. It's not just 1 more or 2 more. Gonna see more of these. Is what is different from a Sony acquisition to an Xbox acquisition? So Sony's way of acquisition, from what we've seen so far, is something along the lines of, we want a deep partnership.
Right.
We want to see how this relationship works before we heavily commit. So, when they talk about there's 25, PS5 games being worked on, some of them with external studios. If we don't think that Haven Studios is not on the table somewhere in the future for an acquisition, we're fooling ourselves. Yeah. I think what Sony wants to see first is say, hey, we will nurture your studio. We will put seed money into this thing to see it grow. We'll help fund your studio if you're Kojima. But if that title isn't a killer, like Death Stranding wasn't, as much as I enjoyed it, then we'll kind of walk away from it. And is that
a good approach to things?
Yeah. I mean, what would you prefer in that regard, right? Because like if you're a studio, you're getting a ton of money to grow your studio. You have, I would assume, this is just me talking out of ignorance, you have a base amount of money that you have to fund your game. right? You don't really have to worry about money for the foreseeable future. And if things go south, you can always turn to another studio going, okay, hey, let's do something. Like we saw that with Kojima with Stadia, and what we'll talk about later with Xbox. So it's kind of like a no one really loses type of situation to me. So like, yeah, when I see that quote, I understand why you'd be like, that's hypocritical. And at the same exact time, I'm like, yeah, but I got Housemarque and I'm really happy about that. So to me, I don't read into quotes like Twitter does. So to me, I expect a CEO to say whatever that CEO needs to say to make sure that their stock prices either go up or stay the same. So for me, yeah, I understand when people like Jim Ryan said another stupid thing. It's in his nature. So
I was just going to say that, Joe. Like honestly, I would like to see Herman Holtz do the speaking.
And that's what I really like too. Yeah. Like out of these few announcements, it is very much Herman talking, because I think when Herman talks, we believe him more. We have this uneasy alliance right now, it seems like, with PlayStation fans going, okay, Jim, we know of you. We're not a big fan. Okay, let's see how this goes. That's the type of feeling I'm getting in the room when with Jim. As for Herman, we don't know Herman as well, but from what we know of him, he is a developer first mentality. Now, to talk about the Nixxes thing as well, yeah, PlayStation fans got to bite that bullet sooner than later and accept the fact that PC games or PlayStation games will be day and date eventually on that platform. It will be sooner than, I think Sony really is going to, in the beginning, go, okay, a year you could come to PC, and then 6 months, and then just go, all right, day and date. Once people are acclimated to it, it's the same thing with Xbox, right? I saw Xbox fans not liking that they were going to PC, or PC getting the preferential treatment. I saw the infighting, but at the end of the day, y'all will eventually come together and go, oh, really? It didn't really affect much. Like, I'm going to be real with you guys. I thought Microsoft games coming to PC was a dumb idea.
I thought the same. I wrote an article on it saying,
yeah, because I'm like, oh, this is you forsaking the console, and it's like, no, it's actually about building a platform. And I changed my mind as humans should. So yeah, it's a smart idea. It has to happen. Game development is more expensive than ever, and when you only have one platform to look after, there's a cap. There's a cap to that success. Yeah. So that's what Sony's going to be going for. I think Nixxes is another one where, again, this is a company that is already in the market. They are going to fund a bit more to grow it, so that they are going to work hand in hand with other studios. Like, for example, they worked with Guerrilla with Horizon. They'll probably work with, whatever big first party game is out there. Yeah. For PlayStation, they're going to be working with them. So this is another support studio, but it's helped building that backbone for PlayStation as they transition to PC, which is great. So fanboys, get over it.
Yeah, well, Derek, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He, on the back of what you just said there, Joseph, he's actually asking questions now, because he's saying, do you think I should save my money on the LG OLED and PS5 for a high-end gaming PC to get the best experience for Sony exclusive?
So real talk, and we saw that same thing with Xbox, and it is up to you. And isn't that an awesome thing to ask yourself? For me, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go PC, and this is when I wasn't as big into Xbox as I was. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do PC and PlayStation then, and I got to play games like Sea of Thieves on PC. I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's giving you the freedom of choice. So if you're like, I'm not a huge PlayStation guy, I don't care about the haptics or whatever, let me just go buy it on PC, and I'll save $500, or maybe even just spend however much you want on a gaming laptop or PC, and just have that for your school or work and thing. Yeah, go for it. It's all up to you. That's awesome.
I would say it's a little bit early anyway. You should just go ahead and buy that PS5 if you can find it, and an LG OLED, because this is speculative. They're not day and date yet. It'll be a while if you're waiting.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows when that happens? But you're
I
right.
will
I was one
say-
of them. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
For me, I don't anticipate it happening anywhere near that soon for the day and date thing. I don't think it will happen until. So, Joe, you said the key thing that when Microsoft were doing it, it was because they are no longer building the console ecosystem; they're building a platform, and I don't think that's where Sony are at the moment. 5-10 years they might be there, but at the moment,
I think they're building the backbone, the blueprint of the platform right now. I think you're right in that assessment, Lisa.
And I just see them much more so than Microsoft. Microsoft don't do this at all. Microsoft don't care if you buy a console or not. Not literally speaking. I'm sure they want to sell the console, but they don't care where you're playing. Whereas for Sony, they do still seem to value that console ecosystem where they get players on that console and they reap revenue from everything that they're doing on that console. And the whole PC thing is a chink in that strategy. Like, it is a little chink in the armor. It does let some revenue go away. It does let some people not buy a PlayStation. And I don't think Sony are ready to do that. I don't think they'll be ready to do that until they are looking big platform, big picture like Microsoft are. But at the moment, you can see they've still got one eye on Nintendo. They're still looking at the traditional console ecosystem as a successful thing for them. So I do think it will happen eventually, but I just think the timescale, I think 2 years is too soon. It's not going to be that quick.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Sony has a benefit of straddling the lines here and waiting, because then it doesn't diminish the value proposition of the console as much as the Xbox did. This is the point I made when I heard. Well, I think I expressly said, if Halo ever comes to PC day and date, that's a big reason to buy an Xbox down the toilet. I was wrong. Well, the general sentiment was that you don't need the box anymore, and I thought that was going to really, harm the box, like you were suggesting, Asa. But reality is, console gamers will be console gamers, and then Microsoft's strategy changed completely to services.
And that's the thing that people have to kind of get the grip of. Asa, I think I totally misspoke. I don't think like in 2 years or day. I definitely think like 5, but we're looking like 5 to 10.
Yeah, 5 years. That's what I'm thinking.
But like, that's the thing that I think console owners, the fanboys, have to get the grip of like, guys, we're 30% of this market. We're not a big chunk that you think we are. We are, and at the same exact time, like, it's stagnant growth. You're seeing PC steadily climb, especially worldwide in places that consoles are harder to get, for whatever reason. And then you're seeing mobile as a huge space, like ginormous. So I think we got to keep our passions for this rectangle that we have in our living rooms in check here.
Like the monolith,
or like if you're a PlayStation 5, the tower that you have next to your garage. I get it.
Do you know? I find games with gold and PlayStation Plus show where these companies are at in terms of their strategy, because these are services that are made for the console fan base. They don't extend beyond those consoles. And Sony are putting a lot of effort into getting their console owners to subscribe to this service to monetize them. And Microsoft are doing what they're doing with games with gold, which is, I don't know, like, is there. We'll reap it while we can, but we're going to give you some crap and we're going to focus on Game Pass. So that's indicative of what these companies are doing right now. But strategy-wise.
Also, it's 4-0 apparently in the comment section to England. 4-0. What is going on? See, guys, we are the good luck charm. See, this is what happens when you watch Game On Daily at the same time as a football.
That's right.
We should always schedule our games, our show with the games. Cade Forever, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Was wondering if you saw the news that Take-Two bought a facial animation studio named Dynamics.
Yep.
Should Sony or Xbox also invest in something similar? What do you think, Badbit?
Sony has some really awesome backbone to those to their studios that I think we're often unaware of. So like I think like facial animations wise, my goodness, like Last of Us Part 2 is incredible facial animations wise.
Oh yeah, man.
The one thing that I love PlayStation exclusives for is the sound design in these games. The teams that they have, man, they're bar none. So yeah, I saw the facial animation studio acquisition as well, of like, this is Take-Two wanting to get serious into some big next gen stuff. It's also crazy to see what Unreal is letting people do with web browser to make Unreal Engine 5 looking characters. Like, the thing that excites me here, guys, is I don't know if I could curse, but I'll keep it to a bare minimum. Okay, cool. Then fuck it. Is right now we took a look at Ratchet and Clank and we're like, oh shit, that looks beautiful, right? In 4 or 5 years from now, we're gonna look at that going, man, that looked like crap. We thought this was good. That's what these acquisitions have me feeling, at least. Like, man, games are gonna look insane in the future. For sure.
Absolutely, man. They you know, what's really surprising is the studio that developed Kena Bridge of Spirits. That's typically in CGI kind of facial animation or whatever outfit. But this is a 20-man studio. Look what they're doing. Look at how good their game looks. Game looks amazing.
These people animate for, or used to animate for, DreamWorks. And I think you're going to see a lot of people, whether you're in games, get out and you do animation for like a Pixar looking company and vice versa. So like, yeah, man, games are gonna be crazy in the next few years. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Gunstar, thanks so much for the £5 super chat. Be as cool as me. Good luck. You'll need it. But buy the Source Tea at the GameOnDaily store. Ironically, it won't let me post it here. I posted there for you. Yes, buy the Source Tea, buy the Control Tea, and because it support the source. Because if you thought the Exorcist skit was bad, you haven't seen anything yet.
I'm concerned. Okay, I saw 30 seconds of a man with a blanket over him. I think I saw you sitting next to him, like, look, and then staring at a screen of Phil Spencer. And I don't know what you were doing. I don't know if you were crying, laughing, or something else. I am concerned for you guys. Are you okay? You do so much.
The jury's out on that one. The jury's
all right.
Whether or not. But we're swimming the source, baby, and what you're just seeing is just scratching the surface. We have some. Oh man, I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, I think I told you, Boom, a little bit about that. Your friend Jason's getting a little bit of.
I was gonna say, as long as you can assault the fake Jason Schreier, well, you know, it's a good day. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
I'm so worried.
Oh, we've got a lot more coming. I wanted to get into some of the news. Again, it's PlayStation centric. The studios was good news. But Sony's been. They say there's no such thing as bad publicity. I think this is bad publicity, and I don't think it's good. And that's so funny that we're here talking about this. Because I'll say it. More sauce. Let me drop some sauce, right? When last generation, when Xbox was faltering so bad on its face, Sony was then loving it up, lapping it up. Everything for Shuey Shida, here's how you share your games. Adam Boy's looking cheeky like anything. Oh, PlayStation loves indies. PlayStation loves devs. It just laid it on so thick. Mm-hmm. And I knew they were talking nonsense back then. And why do I say it's nonsense? Because this week, and I know it's just a PR thing, because you've seen Jim Ryan, he'll lie to you, knowing full well what he's saying is a bald-faced lie. PlayStation believes in generations. Bad bit, come fight me on this. Why look, and today, okay, well, let me give some perspective for the people who haven't seen it. Basically, a lot of indie devs came out this week and said Sony's policies are archaic. They're hurting the industry. That's about promotion of an indie title. There's like 25 grand just to get on the space. But even that is a archaic mess filled with loads of bureaucracy. They don't really care.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe it. I also went on our competitor side at 4G because I go there for a comedic value, because the comment section there is absolute virus.
Oh man, they're great.
Oh my god,
they're fucking trash.
Apparently, it was the indies' fault. Apparently, oh yeah, this is what you need to do. Oh my god, if you ever want to give yourself a pep talk, also go into that comment section. But bad bit, what's going on? Does PlayStation really? This doesn't look good. We had Micros we've had on the show. He's really good.
No, it doesn't look good at all. I don't know why. So some of the things I understand. So I got like one of the quotes here where it's like, if you are going for, you know, if you want your indie and here's what it says: then create a specific trailer for the platform, write a blog for their site, and then submit multiple forms for social media. That part I understand.
That's standard fare.
That's standard fare.
Yeah.
I understand that, and I don't see the issue there. We have to fix this. Someone has to fix this 25 grand thing ASAP, and I don't know how we're going to do it. And what I mean by that is we're coming to a point, one of the devs said it, I think in the article, of like, we're running to a point where we have, 30 games a week on the Nintendo store, 60 plus on Steam. We're running to a point of like, how do these stores control the floodgates?
Yeah.
Or else you're going to get a Steam situation where there are so many games that discovery is shit. Like when I used to cover everything, indies would come to me talking about Nintendo storefront being awful for discovery.
Dude, it's
absolutely
terrible.
Atrocious.
It is awful. Yeah.
So, Ariel Knight said it perfectly. He's like, there's a problem with all big three. But yes, towards PlayStation's archaic, and this is the thing that I have the most problem with, is being assigned in account manager.
Yes.
Like if I'm an indie, and here's the thing, it's like, where is the fix here? Because like if I'm an indie, where do I rank? Like if it's taking months to get back to me, well, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, what type of studio am I? Am I a team of one dude making a really, low budget game? Or am I a team like a Super Giant who has, the publicity, the backing, and the money to get up front? That's what it kind of seems like. It's like whoever has the bigger bank account, you're going to get more visibility. And if you're an indie, typically you don't have that bank account. So like when I see 25,000 or upwards of 200,000 to have a weekend spot on the front page of a store, that is standard fare. Like that's standard fare. Even if you're on Xbox, that's standard fare. And that's rightfully so. You are on the front page. Do you think that's free? Do you think that's just given away if you're not a first party studio? No, absolutely not. These are things that are, you'll know it. These are baked into legal documents when you're making a deal for a game, right? You're cutting out the lines of like, how much promotion am I going to get if I am making a marketing deal with you, the platform holder? I would love, and I don't know if this is an be all fix for this, of like, why can't we have an indie page where it's focused on indie developers?
Idea. That is a great idea.
You can lower that gate for so many folks going, hey, if you're a team below a dozen, here's this page for you. So that, AAA publishers have subsidiaries that they can quote unquote call indie and then take advantage of that page. So that's why I'm saying less, make the gates around it so that big guys can't take advantage of it, where indies can strive. I think that's a really, at least in my head, when I say to myself, that proves a far better system for these people. But discoverability like sucks. Again, the account manager thing, I don't know a fix to it. It just sounds awful. But the thing that I think is asinine for PlayStation to do is the deals. I can't even discount my own game. Is ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. I understand why PlayStation does it. It's a great little thing to promote, but it's benefiting you more than the indies, obviously. So like, just take that out of it. Just make it so that if I want to discount my game, I can discount my game. Have it so that I get it. You don't want to devalue your store if you do it immediately. So like, say like, hey, you have a 3-month window where you can't discount this game. After the 3 months, go discount as whatever you want. And here, like, that sounds like a good fix. To have it be waiting for an invite sucks. Like, I was playing Game Pass. Shout out to Game Pass. I was playing River City Girls, which is freaking phenomenal, by the way. And I was like, I love this game so much, I'm gonna buy it on PlayStation. That power of Game Pass, right? So and I'm not, unironically, like, I love this game so much because of this service, I'm buying it. I took a look at it, I was like, oh, $30 now on PlayStation. Ugh, okay, I'll wait.
Yeah.
That sucks. Because you know that dev wants to discount that game ASAP.
But you
So
can't do it. That's crazy, though. That's a crazy
Yeah.
situation.
So I think it's something that is definitely, if I'm Shuhei right now, I'm organizing some type of analytical approach to measure the problem, understand the problem, try to find the solution to this problem. Because this isn't the biggest thing in the world right now, but I can guarantee you it will be in a year plus down the line. Absolutely. As the PlayStation Store grows, this problem will grow as well.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
that
big-
has been my TED Talk.
Yeah. It may be it may not be the biggest thing right now, but it may be the biggest thing in the world for an indie dev who's striving. And Hargreet Channy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat just on time. I was going to mention this. On one of the devs showed a revenue graph. 3% of his revenue was from PlayStation. Is the engagement for small indies game that bad on PlayStation? Too much focus on AAA? Isolated incident?
Yep.
Well, actually, not really, because I'm going to read out some quotes here. We've got who is this chap? I think wait, it says Platform X. They're talking about PlayStation. They just didn't want to mention the platform. Is our worst performing platform, worse known than other well-known plumber or super soldier related video game system. Talking about Nintendo and Xbox, obviously, and also worse than the DRM free sales platforms from Itch, etc. What is that? White. I don't know what his first name is. Last month we made more on Google AdMob. And again, it goes worse. CEO,
I feel like PlayStation gave up on indies when, and this is just personal feeling, don't have any facts, figures, or graph to prove.
I'd say 2017 is where I think they
VR?
kind of gave up, Joe. Yeah.
Once Nintendo took the market, I think they stopped caring, because I do think it is about the big AAA games to them. Remember when PlayStation 4 came out, it was a different Sony, one that was in the red, one that was very much in trouble. So it's about the small risk, high rewards. That's typically when you see, companies do really cool shit, it's typically when they're not doing well. So, or wanting to pick up that traction. That's why you see like EA now making remakes and remasters, thank God. So to me, that's what I see is like the day PlayStation doesn't make a whole bunch of money off of God of War, we'll see a refocus on indies. But it's sad that that's the case. It really is. Because it made their bread and butter off the first 2 years of it. And yeah.
Well, there you go. So they're forsaking their roots. Is it that bad, Boomstick, that you go where the money is? Or is that okay just because it's business, despite the heritage, despite the fact that the indies were the lifeblood of what PlayStation's early identity was? Right?
I think it's disappointing, to be honest with you. And I think Joe is on to something. He said two incredible points. One, the best fix, and this could go for all big three. Make a dedicated indie page. Hear ye. Indie. If you are an indie fan, and we have a lot, indie gamer, good friend of this community, love the man. He has been someone that has rallied behind the indie community. I mean, it's in his name, for God's sakes, right? And if you are an indie fan and that's what you enjoy supporting, having a dedicated page is good on both fronts, for the consumer and the seller of the game, right? But besides that, Joe is onto something with the potential problem for Sony. Now, right now, they have a game releasing in August called Kenya, Bridge of Spirits, my most anticipated game of 2021. I mean, and that's with the big AAA Halos and the Forzas. I cannot wait to play this game. It screams Cameo for me from Rare, which was a 360 launch title. It just looks like you're playing a Pixar game. I'm all in, right? Yeah. What could potentially happen for Sony is if the word continues to, because right now it started off as a snowball, and it's starting to gain some momentum. More and more devs are coming out, and more people are willing to speak up against the big machine known as PlayStation. If that continues,
sorry, I have to laugh. Someone correctly said Kenya Bridges. It's not Kenya Bridge of Spirits, Boom. It's not based on the country. It's Kenya.
Oh, it's Kenya. Sorry for the misquote.
We're from the tri-state. He's a New Yorker. We're Jersey.
Thank you. I think it might be the accent.
It's
Oh,
you know what it is.
I love that accent. That's what I want to go to
we don't know how to pronounce shit over here.
No, I'm terrible at it.
Like
I'm North.
yeah, like Boom and I, we have to.
But here's the thing.
It's a choicy thing, dude. It's a choicy thing.
Not to be a
I also
penis.
love the way you say Fugazi. You also
Not to
say
be a penis.
Fugazi.
You know what I was talking about. So why are you
Yeah.
breaking my balls? That's what I want to know. Why are you breaking my balls? Anyway, getting back to the point here is that developer or a developer that has an incredible title like that may be like, you know something? ID at Xbox and Chris Charla, those guys know how to treat their developers. I think I'm going to bring this over to them. And they skip PlayStation, or they go to Xbox first, and Xbox says, "Wow, this is something special. We're going to lock this up as a console launch exclusive for X amount of months, X amount of years, whatever." Another way that, and it's kind of just bringing it back to why I think they need to do better on all of with the indies. One of the things I miss about Xbox, I've added Phil Spencer on this. I've added Aaron Greenberg, everybody. Summer of Arcade was so incredible. My favorite time as a gamer. I have the list in front of me. I'm only going to read a few. Out of Summer of Arcade, you got Castle Crashers, you got Braid, you got Limbo, you got Shadow Complex, Bastion, Castlevania, Harmony of Despair, Hydro Thunder, and two of my favorite, Dust on an Elysian Tale, made by one man, by the way, and Deadlight, which was freaking incredible. These games would potentially, in today's market, never get found.
That's so sad.
They would potentially never get the light because there's just too many games. I would love to see a Summer of Arcade come back for Microsoft. I don't know what Sony's going to do. I am going to say that Joe knocked it out of the park with what he had to say. I think that if this continues to spiral out of control, people are going to be afraid to go over to PlayStation and say, well, I am putting, because you got to understand, some of these guys are making these games in their garages, folks. Yeah. They don't have the big budgets of some of the bigger indie titles that have been doing this for 10 years, that have an incredible following, that have six-figure income. And they're going to be like, why should I go over to Sony if it's going to take me 3 months to get an email back?
Yeah, absolutely. That is just unacceptable.
And I think we've seen that right now, right? Like you see Nintendo killing it with indies.
Yeah.
And then I think what has been the silent killer right now is ID at Xbox with Game Pass. Game Pass is awesome for indies. I think even like the guy that was complaining had like some obscure game I've never heard of in my life. And go, this game was a huge success for us. This is a game I had no idea in. And people are going in through that library going, okay, what's this about? What's that about? Let me check this out. The one thing that maybe I could understand is complain a little bit is like, if Platform X doesn't like your game, no fanfare, no feature, no love. And there's no reasons or there's no rhyme or reason as to like how a game gets on front page or what Sony is looking for to get a game on that platform or to get highlighted. I don't see that as much as of a complaint. It's like, to me, it's like, well, it's the tastemakers that are looking at your game going, what's the best for my brand? So you're going into, it is a Shuhei going, what's going to represent, I think, PlayStation the best? This weird game called Chicory. You know what I think is going to represent the PlayStation brand the best? If we make a 1-year deal with a Fall Guy. I think that there is no science behind it. It is what the palette of whoever's looking at that game considers to be a good fit for that platform. That's how I see it,
Yeah.
But a lot of what he says, like I would love, and if you're an indie dev out there, come to us. Let us know what you're thinking, where your thoughts are, ideas are, because we'd love to hear it. We're just a couple of guys who's never made a game. So we don't know the intimacies or whatever to make these things happen. It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's fascinating that, and it's kind of sad that the devs had to break out on Twitter and social media because they just felt like they couldn't go anywhere else. Let me catch up with the super chats. Raiden Blade, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Hello, Acer, Gaz, Mr. Boom, Mr. Babbit. Welcome to the UK. Yes, welcome, sirs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rage and Blade again with the £5 super chat. Never turn your back on those that support you.
Yeah.
One day you might just need them or
Good point.
regret it. Sony need to look deeper inside themselves. Ooh, interesting.
Well, what I would say to that is business isn't about feelings. So the day someone comes back to you, if there's money to be had, you're a good businessman, you don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care. It's just the same like when Sony's shaking a hand of a Microsoft to make an Azure server. Look, that's their competitor. And they're literally saying, okay, you got better service than us.
Yeah.
Let's go. Cut the check. Let's do this. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Raid and Blade again with a £2 super chat. Just get the boom. I think he's talking about we were making fun of your accent.
Oh yeah.
We were not making fun of your accent, actually. I loved it. I love the New York accent. It's so fugazi.
That's right.
Fugazi.
We'll have a little redo of 1776 up in here.
I love that. But Asa, what did you? Because it was quite funny to see Mike. Actually, Mike is a boss. He's a G. We've had him here as a guy who runs a publishing outfit. He does not give a shit. That guy speaks the truth. He spills out his guts. He does not care. And he came out to reinforce what these indies were saying. I said, that's the case. What's your take on this? Is it as dire as I'm making out?
There's two separate problems there. One of them, Sony can take clear and obvious steps to fix, and one of them is very, very difficult to fix. The one that they can and should and must take steps to fix is simple. It's communication. So this thing with the account managers and the delays, and you can't talk to anyone and you can't figure out their processes. That's, for me, that's not just indies approaching Sony. That's Sony as a corporation as a whole. That's like a bit of the culture there. If you've ever tried to phone Sony customer services, you'll get the same experience as those indie developers, right? They're not a good company to talk to from the outside. And that's a cultural thing that's very hard to fix and needs to be fixed from the top. And Microsoft, as their competitor, are very, very good at it by necessity because Microsoft run Windows. And if you consider the open nature of that platform and the amount that's going on and the amount of people that need to talk to them, it's a battle that they fought very, very hard for a lot of years. And if you've owned the Xbox support team, in my experience anyway, they're good and they're helpful.
Amazing.
Okay, it's night and day difference there.
Yeah.
But that's cultural and that's Sony, and that's something that is fixable if they've got the appetite to do it. It's going to cost them to fix it, but it is fixable. The other one, though, and it's really interesting that that Joe and Boom both suggested an indie page for these developers to give them exposure, whereas Microsoft went in the opposite direction. So curation of content and discoverability is massively, massively difficult, and there's not a single right answer in how to do it.
We know this.
And to make it more difficult to talk about us as consumers on the outside looking at the storefront, we're not the ones with the insight on whether it's working well or whether it's working badly. Okay, so what we see is like, it's all about the numbers, but it's all, everybody is going to want their game to do well, and there are too many games for them all to do well, and there isn't a right answer on how you curate that. The indie page, so Xbox obviously had Xbox Live Arcade and they had Xbox Indie Corner, and they very specifically backed away from that. They said nobody's going there. To give these indie developers any shot of a massive success, we need to put them in with the big boys. They need to be in on the main store without their own dedicated page. So Microsoft had been that route and then walked it back. Steam is also notorious for curation and difficulty in getting anything discovered. There are thousands and thousands of games released on Steam every year, and some of them don't get seen at all. You'll look at them and they'll say, no user reviews, nobody's ever found this, could be brilliant, could be awful. And is it Steam's responsibility to try and shine a light on every single game? You can't. There's only so much light you can shine. So it's a massively difficult problem for everybody involved. But what Sony can acknowledge at the very least is that there's a lot of noise complaining about there's a lot of noise complaining about the way that they're handling it relative to even Nintendo. Okay? And Nintendo aren't known for being good at communicating with people, and people are happy with their policy by relative to Sony's, and people are happy with Microsoft's. And again, Microsoft can't shine a light on everything. They can shine a light on something. So I'm not saying that this is definitely a massively hard problem to solve, but they need to look around and they need to acknowledge the complaints.
Some soul searching.
I would say so.
Well said, Red Guy, as a Spotlight in the comments says. Regards, yes. Why he just say, why is Red Guy not spoken? This is the thing. When Acer speaks, he ends the topic because he's so knowledgeable and he always brings up the conclusion. He brings up the rear.
There's no conclusion to that one.
Yeah. There's like the conclusion is it's the.
But I love that you mentioned that, Asa, because I did not even know that they had like a indie tab page.
Yeah.
But there has to be somewhere, because this is such a. And I love that this issue has been brought up, because it also does bring up the broader question of like, how do you shine a spotlight on these devs? Is it how? Is it an impossible task? I don't know.
It is impossible, because you shine a light on all of them and then you're shining a light on none of them. So there's not a right answer.
Yeah.
Right.
There is never a problem. We talked about this before. Like we said, if you segregate indies, then they'll feel segregated if you partition to one side. If you treat them like they're as big as the big guys, then it's better. But then you have to pick and choose, and you can only do that with a finite number of. It's a very difficult problem. But and Asa nailed it so makes me understand it better. There's two distinct problems. Sony isn't actually doing its very base essential job there, and that's comms, and that just is not good enough. And Raiden Blade with his £2 super chat goes, "What customer service? Sony's customer service is one man job. There's one guy in there manning the whole ship." That's why.
Dude, can I shout out to customer service just utterly being the worst anywhere? It's just getting bad. It's just awful. And also, I'm just thinking, I'm getting highlights of like, we had trouble with our Apple TV remote, and the chick on the other end, she's just like, "It's your TV." And my brother's like, "The Apple TV works with all the TVs. What are you saying? It's my TV."
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting angry, and I'm derailing, but that Apple customer support, shame on you. That said, there's a Hispanic family yelling at me downstairs. I gotta go say hello to him. So be right back.
There's Tony in the chat says, "Customer service is my job, and I love keeping you on hold." Tony, you're such a troll. Let's just move on from the impossible problems to solve, and partially possible problems to solve, to another problem that's been. Again, this is not an impossible problem to solve. This is a problem that shouldn't exist. There's this confusion. Asa, can you set the scene on this? So, because if I understand correctly, Ghost of Tsushima, I don't know what the pronunciation. I have to give up now. Ghost of Tsushima has got an update coming out. Thank God, great game. Although you disagree, but the pricing has been controversial. Why? And then I'll leave to Mr. Boomstick to explain his take on it.
Yeah, again, there's two elements to this. One of them is confusion in messaging. So they announced this Ghost of Tsushima upgrade, and in their announcement were 4 different prices. And I was actually I was on Boomstick's Breakfast with Boom show yesterday, and we had a chat about this topic, and there's a brilliant comment underneath his YouTube video that says, "I don't know why people are saying it's confusing. All it is," and then it's a paragraph to explain how you upgrade Ghost of Tsushima. Right? And I answered your own question on that one. It is confusing for people that know what they're talking about. And the other one is, obviously, as with everything, they're going to be held up against Xbox. Yeah. And if Xbox release an upgrade to a game, the community knows that it's going to work, right? You don't have to pay for it. It's going to work. And if they release some downloadable content, there's a question there on whether it's included on Game Pass or not. But there's not a question on whether you're buying the PS4 version of it, the PS5 version, how you'd upgrade if you've done that. Can you do that? Can you buy it standalone? It's simple. So you hold Xbox up against Sony and their messaging, and you've got a lot of people. It's difficult, though, because, like I said to Bim yesterday, Sony are looking very, very bad, only because Xbox are looking very, very good. And if you compared Sony to what Nintendo do, or to what anyone would have done in the last generational transition, they're actually doing pretty okay. But by comparison to Xbox, it's messy. And Boom, I know you've got opinions on this. So what do you think of the Ghost of Tsushima upgrade debacle, as you would say in your Boom voice?
Well, you said something very interesting yesterday that I think that you didn't mention just now, and I want to reiterate it, and that is how Sony is looking over at Nintendo and saying, "Look how much money they are making on that side without giving the ship away, without giving the whole ship away for the fans, right?" And again, with Microsoft being they're really, again, this all stems from the messaging that they have notoriously, and I'm talking about Microsoft, been poor at. They turned the ship around, and it's been all green for Microsoft. And you're right, Asa. People are going to look and say, but if I buy a game on Xbox, here's a perfect example of why Sony is got egg on the face once again. MLB The Show, besides the fact of first party releases into Game Pass, that's forever going to be the dig. But if you're a Sony player and this was a console exclusive and you wanted to play it on your PlayStation 5 here in New York, it's $76.43 or whatever it is, right? It's over $76. But if you play it on Xbox and you have a Series X, you're getting the upgrade for free. That is ridiculously incredible. And what's starting to happen is more and more games and more publishers are saying, listen, we're going into Game Pass day and date. That's great. But even if they don't, upgrades are serviced through the upgrade for free, right? For on Xbox, not so much on Sony. So people are going to be like, well, why isn't Sony doing it? This is one of those instances where it is actually, Asa hit it on the head. If you have to make a paragraph that's this long to explain how this is going to work, you failed. You literally failed. For pricing, like I said, I am a showrunner. I'm a content creator that runs 4 shows, and I nearly, after watching reading the PlayStation blog, I have it in my drafts. Could someone explain to me if I can buy the PlayStation 5 upgrade for anything under $70? I didn't even know, and I'm a content creator. And I read it again, and I said, "Oh, okay. So now for $30, I can do it. Okay, I'm in. Okay. I'm in." But even then, like, I feel like I'm giving in. I'm going to be honest with you, because supposedly the DLC is $20, right? They're charging me. I'm the stupid one here. I'm literally giving them $10 more to play the PlayStation 5 version. And I don't even know why I'm doing it. And I'm only doing it because I love the game so much. I platinumed it. I'm going to platinum it again. I absolutely think it's Sucker Punch's best game they've ever made, honestly. But Asa said it on the show yesterday on Breakfast at Boom. They are going out of their way to get that additional $10 from you, and they're going to get it from me. What can I say? But I just think that it's, if you look
Such
how
a
the
good
week,
game. Such a good game.
If you look how the week started for Sony, with the announcement of the acquisition, everyone was great. It's great. Yeah. But it has been a shit show ever since. And this is just another version of, I don't know what they're doing over at PlayStation, because they are normally the market leader. Their marketing is second to none, and it has been very poor as of late. I will say that.
Absolutely. There's a shifting tide there, and Microsoft's coming up on top in marketing in terms of positive goodwill as well. All these things are catching up with them. They had a big advantage, and they've systematically just failing on a lot of crucial fundamental points, down to confusing for the base level consumer on what to get. It's not good. Lord Ross, thank you so much for the £5. Hi, are you back?
Yeah. Shout out to those hardworking, like white collar folks out there, blue collar folks. Because my dad, a great man, had a work accident a week ago.
Oh no!
And he's a tough son of a gun, man. Very tough son of a gun. So shout out to y'all.
The show. Oh, he should be on camera.
No, he'll hate it. He'll be like, "This is stupid. This is dumb.
What you do with this is what you do in your life." Yeah, so my dad. My dad.
So?
I'd be like, what? My dad looks like Saddam Hussein. He'd look at me and be like, "You disgrace me, son."
Exactly.
Lord Ruffness, thank you so much for the £5 super checkers. What up, guys? Just leaving the pub. England 4-0. By the way, Game Pass is the greatest of all time. You must have had a good time at the pub, because damn, it's going to be messy out in there. I know my mates there drinking up. Just 4-0. 4-0. What the hell? It's the GameOnDaily. Good luck. Right? Raiden Blade, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. You've been killing it today. Control yourself, Gaz. I can't. I can't. I can see your excitement. Zero hype. What? You can never cancel my excitement. Listen. I swim in the source. Yes, this is natural energy. There are no chemicals that induce my energy. A lot of people ask me that in the last comment section. What do you take?
We're just concerned.
As you should be. As you should be.
And then when you say that, that doesn't help me give reassurance. You know?
Lost Forever. Sorry, I know he's in the comments. He has been spamming NVMe £450. Does anybody know why he's doing that? Is there a Sony announced an NVMe drive for £450?
Yeah, he's definitely going to be looking at a specific drive that's like meeting the spec, the supposed spec for a PlayStation 5 expansion.
Oh, that was announced.
Oh, yeah.
The new drive
technology.
that was announced. Yeah. 400. It's not the official one, but that's a joke, isn't it? And at least they have an option of now, but that's as much as the console. It's not more than console. Oh well, that's ridiculous. Hungry Channy, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Because PlayStation feels like Xbox at the Xbox One launch right now. Many parallels to how Xbox was before Lord Phil. Maximus Aurelius Spencer BitCloud, you are looking into this heavens, thinking, pondering.
I'm thinking of BitCloud right now. You know, you guys talked about the Ghost of Tsushima expansion pass thing, I assume?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah, we didn't get your take on that. What was your take?
I gotta tell you something. I was having a conversation with Ains and Luke Lore, and of course, Luke Lore is just killing it. When I mean killing, I mean like killing the vibe. And we were talking about like the Xbox, the Xbox showcase that just happened. Was it better than the 2016 PlayStation conference? And I was like, you know what? Let me check. So late last night, or the other night, I literally watched both, and I was just like, "There's no competition here." I don't even know why people would think this way. It's like Sony fucking killed it. It's like that was the conference of dreams. They brought literally all of it. Like Spider-Man alone. Holy crap! We didn't expect this, and they brought it. I missed that PlayStation. That PlayStation that wanted it. Because now they have it, and they are timid in some areas and bullish in others where they shouldn't be. Like, Luke was trying to settle me down. He's like, I don't think it's that bad. I'm like, if this is just a bad turn, there's just a little bad turn. Yeah, we'll get on the off ramp. We'll get back on the highway. Yeah. But it's things that are concerning me, like the lack of saving your gosh dang cross save games. Dumb delivery. Now this thing, like, look, I have no problem if you made an extra piece of content for a game, charge me that 20, charge me that 30. Fine. I have no problem paying for Iki Island. Sounds like a faraway getaway, and I want to get there ASAP. But I am just curious as to why you are saying $9.99 for what? Just like, what is the thing that I'm missing out on? Because you already gave me a 60 FPS update. The game is checkerboarded 4K. So it's like, I already got everything. Are you charging me $9 for natural 4K textures? Are you paying me the extra $10 for the haptics? Right? What is it I'm paying for? That's the thing that has me the confused part. Because like, look, Sony is trying to get this idea down your throat that $70 is the thing. And more companies, we're seeing it, like EA is the next one out of the woodwork. And I bet you the next Ubisoft game, like the Avatar game, is going to be that $70 too. But Sony really wants that $10 so bad that they're going to shove it down your throat. Like we look, Demon's Souls, Miles, Sackboy, Returnal, Ratchet, all $70. This game is a year old. What they could have done easily is said, hey, here, the base game for PS4 owners is $40 now. We cut it. It's a $39.99 game. DLC is an extra $20. And for PlayStation 5 users, here is the director's cut for $60. You know, for the full game. And if you already have the PS4 version, well, just pay $20 and you get the enhancements. Because if you go out there and you want to buy Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, that's $70. That's a $70 game. But if you already own the game, Square literally gives you that thing for free. So to me, I'm just like, it just seems like you really just want this $10, but really offering me nothing otherwise.
It's the value, isn't it? Where's the value? We're actually scratching our heads around that.
It's so that's the thing is, at the end of the day, is this a big deal? No.
Yeah.
It's literally Sony killing a SKU to introduce another one at full price. And we see that shit all the time. How many Game of the Year editions do we see, right? So like I get that, but it seems like the excuse is we want to kill a SKU so that we could charge $10 for a new SKU. And that's where I get a little, not even aggravated, just inconvenienced by. Because at the end of the day, this thing's gonna sell. And that's the thing is like PlayStation is really PlayStation's really testing how much they can Nintendo. That's what the thing I've been beaten constantly is like, look at how Nintendo treats its fan base, and the fan base goes, all right, I like that punch in the face, give me another one. It's kind of like that mentality, because I saw one person on Twitter going, look at how many pre-orders this thing already got on this guy's friends list. 90. Like that's the power of this IP. That's the power of IP. Like you will go out there and buy Black Widow for $30, damn well knowing you could do it for half and go to a theater.
Yeah.
Like that's the power of IP. And it is aggravating. It's disappointing, but at the same exact time, my dumbass is going to go out there and buy it.
Yeah.
Tsushima was my game of the year. So it's disappointing.
At work. That's the Nintendo strat, isn't it? We buy it because we love it. And Sony's really pushing that. But the problem is Sony has a direct competitor who's doing the very opposite of what Sony is doing. And I don't know how sustainable that is in the long run. But let's see. We talk about sustainability. I want to switch topics here. We've talked about the positives and the studio acquisitions. We talked about PlayStation and the negatives. Another thing that's been doing the rounds was a really good interview with Phil Spencer. I think it was IGN, and he talked about Halo. And he talked about how Halo, so it will not make or break the franchise. This is off the back of him acknowledging that a lot of people are saying, well, heads will roll if Halo doesn't deliver. And there was, I think, not combative, but he was really, not Ryan. Was it Ryan McCaffrey? Ryan McCaffrey, who was trying to get him to talk about this. And I'll quote what Phil Spencer says. I don't know if this is what you want me to say or not. Like when I think about the community, but I'm just being honest. I don't think about it that way. He's alluding to, this is the last strike or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think of it that way. Like the future of the franchise, Halo will be there for 10 years from now. Is Infinite the linchpin on where it survives that long? Absolutely not. I think Ryan McCaffrey is actually more alluding to 343, but he's talking about the Infinite. It's not more. It's more than Infinite. It's about the studio. Yeah. The game has such a rabid fan base and such a history and lore that it's just an IP that's going to be with us. We don't take that for granted. I never want to put a team in a position where they feel this one's got to land, or who knows what's going to happen next. And that's where he's brought it back, talking about, this is all of us have talked about this. All of us have said it's pretty harsh, but I think it's fair that this is 343's last try. Boom, I want to get your take on this. We've said about 343, this is their last chance. If they mess up Halo Infinite, someone needs to go. Phil disagrees. What's your view on this?
My view is that sometimes change is a good thing. And sometimes change is a bad thing. It depends on where you're putting this change in. I'm going to tell you this right now. There is a very specific reason why Joseph Staten was brought back in.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if he was seeing from the outside in, looking and saying, my God, they're ruining what we built. I'm not saying he said that. I'm saying that I don't know if he was thinking that, or he saw what was happening and they reached out to him and he's like, yeah, I got to, he's writing in to save the day. Now, you have to remember, Joseph Staten comes in very late. The game is basically done. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what his role was for Infinite that's coming out this fall. We don't know what was changed. We do know that from the July 20, I think it's July 2020 reveal
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
what they showed in June was 11 months of work on the game, and they're still working on the game. They're going to be working on the game to literally the 12th hour, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So do I think this is the last straw? Well, look, I'm going to be honest with you here, folks. I mean, listen, I'm not the only one saying this. There are a lot of folks in the Xbox community that have lost confidence in 343 because you have to go based on the work, right?
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
look,
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Halo,
Why wouldn't you?
Halo Master Chief Collection was their first foray, right?
What a mess.
And it was a disaster. Okay.
Yeah.
Halo 4 was phenomenal. The single player campaign, story-wise, was phenomenal. Graphically,
Amazing.
still a masterpiece.
So good.
If you
Stupid.
looked at Halo 3 to Halo 4, the jump was just incredible.
Same gen of systems. It's mad.
Right. And the multiplayer, listen, they tried to Call of Duty it, and it didn't work. Right? Halo 5 comes out. Story is abysmal. I've already said my piece on it. I'm going to get booze in the chat. That's fine. I hated the story. It took me 3 years after its launch to beat the game.
Say with the chest. Say with the chest.
So, but the graphics,
I'm right there with you.
Graphically, gorgeous. The multiplayer with Warzone, phenomenal. Right? So, there's a lot of peaks and valleys here for 343.
Yeah.
And the leadership there, which is Bonnie Ross. She runs the show. And I had a chance to meet her. Lovely woman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I met her at E3 2019. I got to speak to her for 3 minutes or whatever. Very passionate, very, very, knowledgeable with Halo. So I know there's been a call. I like to consider the two. Like, you look at Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy, everybody wants her out, right? She's terrible. She's ruined Star Wars.
Yeah.
We got Mandalorian. It's the Filoni-verse for a reason, whatever, okay? And everybody,
what a beautiful universe.
Yeah, and what a beautiful universe. And so a lot of people have been calling for Bonnie Ross to kind of, be moved aside.
No.
Now I don't know if that's going to help the problem. I am going to say that Joseph Staten is the man you want pulling the strings, and that's what he's doing. Yeah. I think his influence is going to be is going to be seriously understood past Halo Infinite. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see but I like what they're doing right now. Do I think it's a make or break? I got to be honest with you folks. If this didn't hit, if we got the Halo from the July 2020 show, I'd have some serious concerns. I'm going to be honest with you, because the gameplay wise looked great. The game just did not look like a next gen Halo, and I think that all of us deserve it. I'm sorry. I think we deserve to get that Halo that could be put up against a God of War and say, you know what? If you like both, you're the real winner here, because you're getting quality versus quality.
Yeah.
You can't get God of War up here and Halo be like, well, it's okay, but the gameplay. No, I want the full package. So I mean, I understand Phil doesn't want to say that, publicly that, hey, listen, guys, if you don't get this shit done, you're out, because they're already under enough pressure as it is. I am going to say, though, that the multiplayer, which is Halo's bread and butter outside of its single player, got me my favorite multiplayer of Halo is 3. That's the OG. That's my game. That's the greatest of all time for me.
Yep.
They got me excited. I cannot wait to play. And I think that if you look at some of the screenshots, and there was a lot of side-by-sides of the Master Chief specifically, where they showed the Master Chief from 2020 versus the 2021 reveal, night and day difference. Yeah. So if you were concerned about graphics, I think that they got that in spades. And I think the story is going to be the best of all Halos because of the Banished. We're going to get a chance to see what Joe and Luke played in Halo Wars in some of the best CG movies of all time, right?
Yeah.
And we're potentially going to bring back the Flood and maybe even that horror element that was in Halo. So I'm very excited for Halo. I think they're going to do it. I think we're all going to be very surprised. I cannot wait for Halo Infinite this year.
Yeah. No,
I'm right there with you, Boom. I think, look, first off, I want to say something about that IGN interview that was cleared up because people took a quote and ran with it. They did have tech issues, and they had to cut a portion of it out, and they had to refilm some stuff, so some things could have been askew, which both teams mentioned. It's not like, this is a cover-up. So people are taking that quote and running with it. I would say this. I'm Phil Spencer, and I think, again, I hate giving Ainsley credit here because he's old and decrepit, but he got something right where, like, Phil Spencer has the ability to be that CEO and at the same exact time distill stuff as a dev or as a gamer, as we quote unquote. Distill it to the average man or person. And so, like, when I take a look at what he said, it's like, what do you want him to say? What would give you more confidence? What is a leader? Like, and I hate, listen, I'm not about the worship Phil. I'm not, but like when you take a look at any leader, whether it's I know, I'm crazy, but when you take a look at any, like a captain of a football team or like, your coach, wherever the case may be, they have to be cool, calm, and collective. Because do you want someone going, yeah, listen, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. If this doesn't work, it's done. I don't know what to tell you. It's done. This is the last one. Everything's on the line. We don't even know what to do anymore if this isn't it. Like, do you want that, or do you want a guy that's going to calmly say, we don't really care how it's perceived, like, as long as the fans like it, and and
the team's working really hard.
It's like, even if it's not, this isn't the end. I want that guy.
His answer was spot on.
Yeah, I like that guy. He's calm, cool, collective. Maybe we'll smoke a J later. Like, that's the type of guy I want. I don't want the guy that is going to be on edge. So to me, like, I read that quote. I'm like, yeah, it's a great quote. Because in the background, they know it. Like, they know it. We know it. A lot is on the line here. And to have someone go, listen, no matter what, it's like, no matter what, hey, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. You have that reassurance. And as the fan base, they need it more than ever.
Yeah.
So I don't take that quote one way or the other. Because even if this game, let's just say, doesn't do what they want, not critically, because I don't give a shit what a Metacritic says about anything, but what the fans, like, if the fans take in, they're like, no, then they can go back to the drawing board. We've seen games like this rebound. Remember, Fortnite was not a battle royale game. Remember Rainbow Six came out and it was a dud.
It was awful.
How many times have Destiny rised, fell on its face, fell out? Like, it's a phoenix that never dies. It's like the universe of games. So, like, games could come out broken, buggy, or just not perfect and still have a massive audience. And we always, I think, in this console space, want to have something that's in the zeitgeist forever. But we have seen games, big shout out to Sea of Thieves, a game which I love, launch like crap. It was a bad game, I will admit, at launch, and then now it's like one of my favorite games this generation. It has like a 60-ish Metacritic, but who cares? Because, like, what is the crazy number? Like, over 11 million people are playing that game. And it's not in the news barely ever unless there's a Jack Sparrow. And so that is something that we also need to take into account, that just because it's not in the news zeitgeist every single week doesn't mean it's a flop or whatever have you, because we have, like, I don't know what Roblox is, but apparently it's the game is so big that it opened on the New York Stock Exchange. So, like, just because we don't hear about it constantly doesn't mean it's in trouble.
Well, the thing to add, Phil Spencer did say we are so focused on Halo this holiday, making a game that our Halo fans will be proud of. That's the most important thing to us. But I'm not one of those kind of dire prediction people. And he's right. Why would you be like that? thing is though, and someone did say like it's not Halo 2020. This is the new Halo, and Halo, like you said, Boom, looks amazing.
It does.
It looks like night and day difference. So now that's just like 2020 dented my faith in 343. Now I'm completely just 180 on this. Now I'm really hyped for what 343, and I have faith in them. Everything they've shown, the tone, the story, the graphics, the gameplay, the multiplayer, it just looks amazing. So yeah, no, I don't think that's. I think the media.
The only bit of concern I do have for that game is in the single player compartment or department, because the way they say it is like that one biome you see, that's it right now. Like that one biome is it. So I want to
do that.
No. They even said like we got they're going for a northeastern thing with the first big biome, and then they'll have more as the game evolves, because again, Halo's a platform.
That would suck.
But as long as you,
that would suck. I'm telling you right now, that's shit. If they do that, that's shit.
And that is why that's my only like car alarm that goes off.
Oh, there you go. You've set off this alarm to me now. They've done now that you've planted that seed in my head.
But guys, don't worry, because like even if the single player is like whatever.
No, don't you dare say even if. There's no even ifs. I don't care about your Sea of Thieves got better afterwards. No, I'm a Halo fan.
No. Because listen, guys, calm down, settle down. No. Don't worry. Let me now tell you that the house isn't on fire. Because even if like the single player doesn't blow my skirt up, the thing that is the most important is the multiplayer. No. That needs to be good.
I mean, look, to jump in on Joe's point, for me personally, I think I'm here with Gaz. I think they
okay.
Look, as important as important as the single play as multiplayer is going to be, and it's going to be because it's free to play. They're getting more people in. The single player, without a doubt, has to be the best single player we've had in potentially a decade.
And I think that's going to be the case. I really like what they're giving me.
I don't
it's
care
great.
if you think. Don't you dare try and pacify me after you plant horrible seeds in my head, and then suggest that there's this one biome, and then suggest it's okay. It's the multiplayer. So this is what you're doing. See, this is what happens. We get.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be just a one area. You're going to be on that Halo ring. It's going to be big.
Listen, that's what these Halo nerds talked to me when we did the season gaming Halo thing. So they could be full of crap. I'm just saying, people much smarter than me said things, and I'm relaying it. So like that's the only concern I got. But if I'm going into like a big installation and it's like freaking awesome, and I get to see another Guilty Spark dude and he's floating around, as long as I'm a big green, Spartan dude, super soldier, that I can supplant my big fat head into that helmet, I'm fine. I don't to me, Halo is the awesome popcorn action flick with the cool badass protagonist. And as long as it gives me that, I'm totally fine. But that is just the one thing that concerns me a little bit.
Halo's way more than that. What is going on?
He's my big green super soldier boy.
He's not green, just made him into a little dude, bro. Halo its lore, its world.
Yes,
all of
and that's the beautiful thing. Is like
you're gonna get that.
You could come in. You could come into the story like me going, hey, man, I just want to see this unstoppable force meet a immovable object. Or you could be like, hey, I want to see how these, I want to see what happens since, Atriox is not the leader of the Banished. He's dead. What's going on there? Because he's supposed to be this unstoppable beast. How does the Flood play a role in that faction? Because they know everything's kind of BS. So like what plays there? You can have that like cool philosophical thing, but at the same time you could be like
Halo
going,
ring that they're on.
All right, let's go kill some grunts, and then you're fine.
I mean, the particular Halo ring that they're going to be on, they were doing experiments on the Flood, so there's no doubt they're going to be there,
and that's cool.
I think it's going to be a massive
unpopular.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Unpopular opinion.
I don't think it's going to be small, especially because they're talking about
no, it's not small.
Having all of these different side stories that you're going to find. You're going to go. You're going to go find these side stories.
Yeah, we're trying our best to comfort guys because he's freaked out at the
No,
one
no.
buy. That doesn't mean it's small. You understand? Like,
I don't
like,
care about the size. It's all about, you
It's-
can't have one biome. You cannot have one biome. All right,
Okay.
let me lay it out. Let me lay out why Halo is gonna, what Halo needs to do to be dank, and how what you just suggested. is
dank, you
sacrilege.
say?
Dank. Yes, there's no better word than dank.
Okay.
Joseph's eyes is like, what am I listening to right now? But okay, can't be one biome. There has to be multiple
Okay.
biomes because Halo CE thrived on the variety of what you see this escapes. You need a snow level. You need a snow level. I don't care.
100%. There
Sure.
better be a mountain level.
But what,
Yeah.
like, what if,
Yeah.
like, in this biome you climb up a mountain, it's snowy there?
Snowy
great.
thing, internal areas. You need to have nice forerunner side
Yes.
structures. You've seen those
Yes.
actually, and
That's
you're gonna
gonna
see
be there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that'll be there.
And then you're gonna have the flood because the Palace of Pain. If you follow the things, this Zeta Halo housed the place where Mendicant bias
There you
and
go.
this Forerunner guy. There has to be a
Yeah.
deeper story. There has to be a deeper. This game
We're getting
can't.
that. We're gonna get that.
You don't care about Metacritic. Everyone says they don't care about Metacritic. Everyone says it in the chat, and I will fight everyone, everywhere, because they secretly
Guys,
care about
what's
Metacritic.
chat? What's the Metacritic on a Fast and the Furious? Okay, Fast and Furious ain't getting it ain't winning Oscars, but it's fun as all hell. That's what
Have you
Halo
seen the
needs to
latest
be
one?
for me.
No, it's not. The Fast and Furious was terrible.
I have not seen the latest one, but like they do great. They sell great. And that's what Halo needs to be. It doesn't need to reinvent the wheel or like solve world hunger. It just needs to be Halo.
All right, I'll
It
mute
needs to
him.
be a
It's fine. I'll
platform.
mute him now.
I think Halo is going to be amazing, but it needs to do a lot,
Yes.
and it has a high standard to attain. I don't care about this narrative. I think games will get better. Sea of Thieves, look at Sea. I don't get. No, Halo doesn't get the benefit of that. No, it just
Oh, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It does not deserve that.
It will be good, Gaz. Don't worry.
I know it will. I know it will. But I'm just laying out the thing. I don't care if they falter day one and then later on it gains great. Okay, I think nah. Get rid of 343. Get a studio that takes care of it day one.
But guys,
Harsh-
from what we've heard,
harsh-
from what we've seen, that won't be the case. Like, look at this multiplayer. It looks
I know,
really
I know.
awesome. They talk about arena. That's what
Yeah,
these
yeah.
kids want. They've addressed the sprint, and everybody seems like this is it. They've given us cool weapons. Remember, you see that gun? It's like a beam, and it shoots, and it's like it tracks the target. That looks cool.
And I'm
You're
not
gonna be
saying the
fine.
game doesn't look bad. I'm just
It has a
the-
grappling hook. It's gonna be great.
Neil P says it will be better than the Fast and Furious movies. Yes, I hope so.
Yes.
That's a
But I
low
love
bar
the
right
Fast and the Furious movies. They're great.
now. Yeah.
We don't need that. They don't need this. Like, we don't need to prop these things up to be like they need to hit a 90 or above Metacritic. Like, I just
Yeah.
need it to be fun for me.
I don't care.
That's how
I
I
don't
view
care about your
things.
fun. I care about 90 plus. Has to be 90
Well,
plus.
shit, I tried.
I care about.
Let's shoot for a record. 98 for Halo Infinite.
Are
on
you on
Metacritic.
crack? Okay, that's
That's what I want.
98.
Right
You know
98.
what? Yeah, I'm gonna shoot high. If it's not a 99 on Metacritic, it's failure.
Shit.
I want to. I
Shit.
want to see the thumbnail of Gaz like go like this. It's like it's all over or something. I don't know.
If
Something
it's an
I'll get it.
89, if it's an 89, it's a failure. If it's a 90,
Really?
that's a win.
No, man. That's oh my god, that's crazy. I mean, listen, I don't like again, you see me, I don't care about a score, but like to me it's just like as long as it's really good, that'd be great.
No,
And I don't know what
care.
really
I
good
don't care. I don't care. I'm a weird person.
I don't have
just
a number
care
I don't
about
have a number associated to like it's really good.
It's 90 a bus for Gaz. That's fine.
90,
Alright,
90 if it hits 90, I'm happy. If it hits 89, 1 point down, I'm not happy.
Okay.
And I care about Metacritic. I'm a piece of crap. That's it. That's why.
It's like
Raiden Blade. Let me catch up with these super chat, guys.
All right.
Raiden Blade, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Remember, Sony wanted to charge you £80. Looks like we'll get their wish. Is that the case? I don't know where that's coming from. Do you know that bad bit? Was that on their manifesto?
Listen, if the company could charge you $200 for a game if they absolutely wanted to, you know what I mean? They would do it if they could.
Yeah.
I don't know what like because I'm a dumb ignorant American, so like I already know how much a game costs over here. I heard like like in Australia it's like 110, 120 for a game, which is nuts. Over there in Britain it's like what is it, 60 quid?
Quid. Yes, quid.
What is quid? I don't know what it is, but like
It's
you know,
pounds.
it's pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so, yeah, they'd probably try if they could.
Yeah, I don't know where we got that from. Danny Snow, thank you so much for the €5 super chat. He goes, I ordered a €70 Design Lab custom Series X controller, but pay to get a next-gen update? Hell no. Sony needs to look over Phil Dominus Maximum's fence. Yes, he does. Yes, they do. They do. Because, and you need to share that picture of that Design Lab controller. There's some really cool ones there.
Oh, yeah.
Raiden Blade also, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. You've been so
No, bro,
generous.
it's funny.
Abusive relationships between Sony, Nintendo, and their consumers. It's called Stockholm Syndrome, Raiden, you're right. Jigga J, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Just started playing Halo 5 multiplayer again, but first time seeing it on the Series X, and man, this game looks great.
Yeah.
Hey, boom and bad. Sauce! Love it. Yeah, it does look good, doesn't it? I haven't played it on the Series X of late, but it looks amazing. And that game struggled on the Xbox One when I played it. Raiden Blade again with the £2 super chat. Thank you so much. Roblox is worth 40 billion now. It's crazy. Yes, I saw that.
And what is it?
What is it? I have no idea. But Ace's kids play it all the time. Everyone's kids playing it all the time. And again, £2 super chat again from Raiden Blade. Roblox 40 billion per year. And Gaz, calm down. No, I will not calm down. Oops, something went up there. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, Roblox is huge, man. It's ridiculous. I played it once with some guys. Told me to play, and they were just pumping up a balloon, and I'm just like, what is this? Well, this is what my life has come to. This costs 40 billion. Kids with the $7 Australian. It would be cool, mate. Okay, I'm not gonna do an Australian accent. If there are sections of the single player that take place in settings similar to the ones shown in the multiplayer maps, I think that you're right there. I was actually going to allude to that because there was a bit of variation in the map geometry there, so I think that's what they'll do. Although
Send me
I hope
back
they
to
don't...
Reach.
Send me back to Reach, yeah. But the thing I didn't like about Reach was that they plugged out bits from the single player campaign into the multiplayer, and it just didn't work for map design. I don't like them doing that. Hargreet Channing, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. To Gaz's point, would we be okay with a bad Zelda that gets fixed later? Hell no. That's such a good
Most
point.
Zeldas are just
That's
decent. It gets a pass because it's Zelda.
Oh,
that's my hottest take.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. The
Breath of the
disgrace.
Wild, great game. Great game. I get it.
Great. No. You don't get it. You don't
good.
get it. No, it's not
What's
good.
the one before Skyward Sword? They gave it a 9. You believe that? A
I
9.
didn't play that one. actually.
Skyward
I didn't play
Sword. Garbage.
Although I do think Nintendo games do get
King David is gonna come for you, put a hit out on you. You talk about
Yeah,
you talk about
yeah.
that slander.
Twilight Princess? Can anybody tell me they actually even played Twilight Princess? Zelda gets a pass because it's Nintendo. Nintendo could literally slap your mother and be like, all right, Nintendo, you get away with it because we've said you could get away with it.
I partially agree, but Breath of the Wild was amazing. It was amazing.
I love
It's
Breath of the Wild. I beat it twice. I played through it twice, and I
Amazing
spent at least 20 hours cooking. By the way, I love cooking.
The cooking thing was amazing. It was amazing.
So much fun.
They're so ahead of the game there. I can't wait for Breath of the Wild too. Lord Roughness, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. He says, come on, Boom. Metacritic ain't giving out 90% for any Xbox game. Source. Lord Roughness with the source. Yeah, it's not good. Nothing's getting 98 unless it's a Nintendo game, right? Bad bit.
Exactly.
£5 super chat from the Dodge Knight. So good to see Boom and Bad Bit with sexy Gaz. Oh, sexy Ace. Sorry, I gave myself this. And Gaz tonight. Gaz last week, metas didn't matter and told you to make their own minds up. I told people to make their own minds up. Meta matters to me. But it also matters to everyone who pretends it doesn't, because everyone goes straight to Meta, including you, Dodge, you massive hypocrite. I know for a fact you're going to go to Metacritic and you pretend not to care because that's the
You know what?
narrative.
Here's the thing. If God's Geek rates this game a 9, then we're in serious trouble because that place will give anything a 10. So that's what I've learned about Metacritic.
Whoa, shade, God's Geek. Wow.
I've never visited the site. I just see every game that's ever been made ever getting a 10. And I'm like, these guys really love anything.
Yeah,
These guys.
that's true.
Ooh.
And that kind of highlights one of the fallacies of Metacritic, but I care about it. But make up your own mind. But it is true. You ultimately do make up your own mind. But for the optics of things are so important. Like Kojima on Xbox, optically huge. Do I give a shit about Death Stranding? No. But it's important. Spin the source. I'm the only one who's saying it because I have the balls to say because everyone's like, Metacritic. Yeah, no, it matters. Raiden Blade, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Bro, you're going to be They're making it rain here. I feel like I need a stripper pole in the back. Remember?
I could take my top off.
You're doing us get us banned. He says, remember it was King's birthday. Happy birthday to King,
Yes,
man.
King David.
King David, what a G. And also, massive congratulations to Lord Cognito joining Defining Duke. That
big.
Huge.
Well deserved. Well deserved achievement. Guys, hardest working dude in podcasting.
Hardest working, one of the most genuine people you can ever meet, talk
100%.
to. The guy will drop everything to help you.
Yeah.
Amazing human being.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. One of the final topics I want to talk to you guys about is a bit of a somber one. Apparently, Elder Scrolls 6 is still in design phase.
Yeah.
Todd Howard says so. Are you worried? Is it disappointed? What do you think, Mr. Boom? Sonic Boom.
I mean, listen, you got to understand. Starfield. He said it in an interview that he did when he broke this down. That Starfield took precedence, right? ESO is still going on, right? There's still Elder Scrolls Online, and they're still pumping out incredible pieces of content. Starfield is a new IP. It is apparently Todd Howard's baby. It's something he really wanted to do. Listen, now here's the thing. I understand people's frustrations. I bet you didn't know this. Elder Scrolls 5, 2011, folks. It's 10 years without a new Elder Scrolls. 10 years.
And it's going to be another 10 years by the time.
It's probably going to be another 3. I'm going to tell you right now. You're not getting this till 2025. And you know something? It's okay. It's okay because you have Elder Scrolls Online and you have all of these new IPs. You have, obviously, Indiana Jones being made, which is going to be great. But from Todd Howard specifically, you have Starfield. Starfield is going to be something special. I believe it is going to be special. And listen, it's not like you can't play Elder Scrolls, right? We do want a new one. I want to follow up to Skyrim. I want a proper single player experience, and we will get it. But we know that they're using the new engine from Starfield, which is great. Just wait it out, folks. We're going to get it. Is it disappointing? Yeah, I guess a little bit. But do you want them to pump out a crummy sequel? I wouldn't want them to. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be that team. Oh, it's Bethesda and everyone loves them so they can have bugs. They don't. They want to escape that. So let them do what they do. And when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. What about you?
I have no prediction of when Elder Scrolls 6 comes. It's even bullish for you to say 5 years from now. Oh boy. Listen, Boom. I don't know if you're like me here. I like when a dev can make a game when they want to make a game.
Yeah, I agree.
Like look, I think it was, how far into development is Elder Scrolls 6 when it was announced? Probably that GIF. Let's be real.
Pretty much.
It was I still don't even know really why they did that. Anyway, but nonetheless, it's been 10 years since Elder Scrolls 6 has come out, since a new Elder Scrolls has come out, but that's fine. They're making a awesome new IP, or what we assume is an awesome new IP, right? To me, I'm not excited for Elder Scrolls 6 because all I see is that JPEG. Just like how I was not excited for Starfield because all I saw was that JPEG. Same if you told me God of War 2018 to me is a perfect game. God of War Ragnarok, I was excited when it popped up. You can see me on stream go, whoa! But then afterwards, reality sits in and goes, I only saw a JPEG. And so my excitement level for God of War Ragnarok is this.
Yeah. Well,
this is where I am. So for me, I'm just let them work on Starfield. It should be all about Starfield because this is their first new IP in decades.
Yes.
And let the focus be there. I don't need an Elder Scrolls 6 right now. If an Elder Scrolls 6 came out tomorrow and it's just a mediocre RPG, well, that's Fallout 4. We don't want a Fallout 4.
Yeah. No.
We want a Fallout 3. We want an RPG that literally changes something because that's what we expect from them. So take as much time as you want, man.
Yeah, because this one has to hit. This one has to hit hard.
Tarantino it, man. Do it when you feel like doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so what do you think about the fact that this game it's in early stages, hasn't left design phase? Are you surprised?
There's not. There's not too much to say about it. I'm surprised that they bothered to show a teaser as far back as they did that just said, "Did you know the next number after 5 is 6?" And that's basically all you can take from it. Like, I think we all could have predicted that was going to be the game at some point, and the fact that it's far away. I mean, more breathing room for Avowed, more breathing room for Fable. It's not an issue as far as Microsoft's catalogue of games are concerned, because we know that those ones are coming. And obviously Starfield as well. So
there's a lot of RPGs there, so you're covered. Kiers, thank you so much for the $6 super chat. I think you're pretty right on the prediction there. He says Elder Scrolls 6 comes out the same year as GTA 6.
Interesting.
That could be like 4 or 5 years away, but I think I'll be quite far away. There's a lot of RPGs there to get, and Avowed and Starfield aren't going to be a slouch in the department. Last topic, ladies and gents, it's going to be this one. This caused quite a bit of a stir in some corners. It was just quite funny because it's all speculative at this point. Xbox has reportedly moved closer to signing a new Hideo Kojima game.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
That is a saucy deal. Mr. Boom, talk to me about this deal like this. It's
big for a couple of reasons. It's big because he still carries a significant amount of wealth with his name, right? It's a bit of a stinger for PlayStation because he has been exclusively a PlayStation Nation kind of a guy almost his whole career, right? Yeah. Obviously, he's we see what he did with Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PlayStation 1, and just look at what he's done. Now, some people don't like his game. Some people be like, yeah, his games suck, whatever. I happen to like him. Metal Gear Solid, my favorite, in my top 5 of all time, right?
Yeah.
Death Stranding, wasn't interested. My brother bought it for me. I have 60 hours in. I kind of really fell in love with the game. Not so much for the gameplay, because the carrying packages thing is kind of stupid. I'm going to be honest. It was the multiplayer that really blew my mind. Like, I would leave and I'd come back and there's bridges built and there's stuff left in the corner for me. And I'm like, this is incredible. So I started building bridges for people and I started leaving tons of stuff for people. And I'm like, this is the greatest non-multiplayer game I've ever played. Right? Like it's awesome. The story's wacky. He just tells wacky stories. Fine, whatever. This is a big deal for Microsoft for a lot of reasons, because besides the fan base getting a AAA developer who notoriously was only on PlayStation to make an Xbox game is important, but their trip into Japan is where this is important. Yeah. Because of obviously they have a Japanese studio. A lot of people don't even forget about that through this Bethesda ZeniMax deal, Tango Gameworks, Shinji made Resident Evil 4. Right? Yeah. He is going to bring a very unique game to the Japanese audience as well as the American audience. But now you have Kojima, and that's a big name. That still carries huge weight in Japan, and they're marching into Japan right now as we speak, and they're doing well. They're selling 24,000 consoles between the S and the X per week there. But people didn't know that.
A week?
Right? A week. 24K per week. Now the PlayStation, well, I mean, they're selling 56. The number was that I saw, and that's to be expected. But that's if you're looking to bring something new, the Japanese type experience to the Xbox owners here in the Americas that we've been asking for, you get a Kojima. If you want to potentially move the needle a little bit in Japan that you've notoriously failed at, you get a Kojima. This is a great, great move for Microsoft.
If it's a thing, it's still wrapped up. Like Jeff Grubb says, they've hit a milestone.
They signed the letter of intent, from what we understand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could that fall apart? Sure. Is it going to? No.
If I was Sony, I would be doing everything to make sure that does not happen. What do you think, Mr. Badbit, about this whole thing? About Kojima and Xbox?
I find I'm jaded when it comes to this issue, and I'm going to tell you why.
Why? Why are you jaded?
Because here's the thing. I'm anti-sauce gas. Just tell it to me straight. I don't need this. I'm a bland eater, okay? I don't need this this is whatever. Because I love when Death Stranding came out, right? we saw a lot of fanboys hate this thing. This is the worst.
Yeah.
Kojima's overrated. He makes these games that I can't understand. It's a
Yeah.
walking sim, blah, 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 blah. And now Kojima signed with Xbox. And here's the thing. If the rumor is to be had, this thing is going to be what he wanted PT to be, where you're playing the game when you're not playing the game, right? So, like, it seems like he'll be sending you texts. He'll be sending you little emails, right? He'll be like, I'm tweeting you now. And that to me is like, cool, that's Kojima. He does weird shit. So I'm excited to see all these people that trashed on Death Stranding because it was such a weird, let's be honest, I have the outside, dumb idea going, oh my God, this game is amazing.
Hey,
I can't wait for that.
This is all Source. What you pre-announced this with?
I mean,
I don't like Source. But that was Source. That was.
Oh, is that what Sauce is? Oh, then I'm all for it. Give me the bolognese. But
yeah.
so, like, I'm excited just to see people be hypocrites. I guess that's the thing.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna say this: Death Stranding was my first Kojima game. Never been into him, but he predicted a lot of things. His games are crazy, and they're super convoluted.
You think it's your
but
first Kojima game, not
This
even
is the
Metal Gear
first
Solid?
one. No. I wasn't allowed as a kid. Yeah. Wasn't allowed as a kid.
Such a
So
good game.
I guess I'll take your word for it. I know people love it. I think I tried 5 and I was just like, what the fuck is this?
No.
So-
Yeah, that's overrated as hell.
Okay,
I'll
good.
join you with that.
So yeah, to me, I like what people have told me about Kojima, where it's just like, yeah, like, you know, like MGS like 1 through 4 is all about like the military complexes and private armies and how memes will elect presidents and leaders and shit. And you're like, that'll never happen. And like, it happens. And so like, even with Death Stranding, the thing is, I appreciate it more now than I did when I finished it, because that game literally predicted what would happen if a global panorama were to happen. And he did it to a T. Like, you take out all the funky stuff of like invisible people walking around and, you know, zip zap zooping you around. Like how we would be disconnected by being overly connected and being confined in these spaces. It is genius. So like, to me, I am excited for this weird game that'll probably be giving me little texts. Oh, do you like me? Press send type of things. I'm super excited about that. That's really cool. Now, here's the thing, getting out of the whole, like, I hate fanboys. They're all like yelling at each other about this. I'm not here to sign a petition to say, Kojima, please stop doing this. It's dumb. Let the man create what he wants to create. And that's a really cool thing. It seems like out of both the Sony deal where he made Death Stranding and with this Microsoft deal, it really just seems like both of them are just to be like, just be weird. You get a Kojima this? And he's like, to the fullest of my abilities. And like, here's a check. That's what I get excited about.
Just the name alone will be powerful.
And I think I even said this on one of Boom's shows. It's like, we're getting to the point where these big developers build a name for themselves. They can literally build their own studio and go to big publishers going, hey, I got a weird idea. All right, someone throw money at me. You would just see Casey Hudson just do it, right? He literally just came out going, I made a studio. After the whole, well, we don't need to talk about Anthem, but you know, and like, look, someone's gonna scoop him up, like someone's gonna give him money, someone's gonna fund that big weird idea. So that's the really cool thing, is like, this is opening the doors to see, you know, more people like a Jade Raymond go out there and say, I want to make something that is not tied to a big, or I'm not tied to one big conglomerate. So I'm excited in that regard. Again, how excited am I to see this game? I'm at this, because I don't even have a title.
I'm just hyped to just the announcement will get me hyped probably more than the game, because it's just the source. I
want to see him go down in an invisible elevator, and right when we see him on stage, you know, something. Give me something.
The source video will be off the charts when that gets.
I can't wait. Looking forward to that source video.
That will be. I have to go all out. Hogri Channy, thank you so much for joining and becoming part of the GameOnDaily Elite family. You get access to. He hates that. You get access to behind the scenes footage of our source videos, and the next one is coming as well, because this is really good. we had fun filming that one. But yeah, well, gents, I think that was
Screw you.
we actually went past
I'm going to talk. I
You
haven't even had a say on the Kojima thing, so I'm going to.
Oh,
Bang. For me, I don't care about the console war stuff in the same way as you. Like, I don't care about how different sets of fans are going to react. The thing that makes it exciting for me is that he's signing on to make this game, not because they're throwing money at him and not because he's upset by Sony or he's pledging loyalty anywhere else. He's signing up because he's got a creative vision and he's looking at a technology stack and saying, hey, with this, I can realize what I want to do.
Yeah.
And just that's what makes it exciting, not the rest of it, not the betrayal and the whatever else is going on, not his psychic tendencies. And I don't know how he even knew that I was going to throw those poo grenades, but he knew, right? That's Death Stranding, right? Yeah, that's a Death Stranding mechanic. You make like body matter grenades, I think. I've not really played that one, but
You throw
he
piss
knew.
at people.
Yeah. I'm not making it up.
You take a dookie in the toilet and it makes a grenade.
Exactly. He knew that in advance of it actually happening. But it is exciting though, because he's saying, hey, I can realize what I want to do with this. And it is very likely to be to do with
Where are you
a
getting this
persistent
from?
world. And
this whole thing about the slant about him being excited by the tech stack. Oh yeah, brain.
it is what it is. I mean, of course he could have his head turned by a load of money, but I don't think he's short of money. And I don't think he's short of opportunities elsewhere. And I don't think he's got a particular love. Yeah, and I don't think he's got a particular love of Xbox that's making him go, yeah, he feels the best. He's just all about what he wants to make because that's the level of hubris that he can operate in now. And that's the company that can do it. So, but that's fantastic. And we could get something really interesting. It could be a complete disaster. It could be that this is the one where he reaches too far and he makes something and everyone looks at it and goes, what the hell? Maybe that's Death Stranding. I don't know. You can speak for yourself on that one. But it's exciting that he's getting with them for those reasons. Obviously, it's a letter of intent and it can still fall through, right? But in theory, I mean, the stuff that Joe was saying about sending you text messages, I don't particularly want text messages, but the idea of it being something that really builds on what Death Stranding was trying to do, what Boomstick was saying in terms of that multiplayer, not multiplayer, trying to connect people that are apart and building on the socialness and the persistence of the world, even when you're not in it. I strongly suspect that that's why he's interested in what Microsoft can do for him. That is exciting.
That is exciting. You got me really excited there. That's a surprise, Asa. Asa being excited for something and then getting me excited. And of all things, Kojima, a guy who made Death Stranding, and I guess Solid 1, let's be honest, one of my top 5 of all time. Oh, that is exciting. I haven't heard that before, Asa. See, gets me sourced up. That would be incredible. I would love to see what he does with this, what he can do at Xbox that he doesn't feel like he could do elsewhere. I love the quote. This is the hubris that he operates in right now. So yeah, absolutely. It's exciting times, isn't it? Bad bit for you. I bet you wanna rename your channel to the Achievement Room, right? Because Xbox.
Yes.
I had a great conversation with my friend Sean Capri of the Xbox Drive. We see a lot of Xbox podcasts popping up over the past few weeks, months, years, or year. I like the shows that have operated when Xbox was doing bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because those are the things you want to listen to. Those are the people that have been through it. Like, I bet you that there will be a day where the courage of man fails. But it's not this day, but the day's coming where like Xbox like falls on its face, and all those Xbox podcasts that were like fair weather dip away, the real ones will remain.
Yeah.
So we joke around about being called the Achievement Hall because we talk so kindly about the other side.
Yeah, it's true.
I doubt that'll happen.
But
maybe if we hit 100 patrons, I'll sell out over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. We'll make the Achievement Hall. But
yeah. No, but honestly, I think it's a good segue to the outro. Bad Bit, you are one of the most refreshing PlayStation podcasts out there. Yeah, it's hard to see. I find it hard to find PlayStation centric podcasts. But there are a few. There are like you've got Colin Moriarty's Lost and Media. That's pretty good. You've got BitCloud Gaming.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
But-
and then
But
you
they're
can-
not better than the trophy room. I gotta be
Exactly.
honest.
You're like, oh, this comic
Yeah.
guy. I'm like, I
Yeah,
never heard of him.
But the trophy room is really good, and it's really
Yeah.
good because you really go and spread. We're not an Xbox centric channel, believe it or not. We're everywhere, but we tried. We tried finding everyone, but you named these guys to me. We've had Colin Moriarty on our show. We've had Big
Mhm.
Cloud Gamer show. We've had you on our show.
Yeah.
Who's left? We had Marlon Gaming on our show. It's a rap guy. It's a rap.
All right, that's it.
I like him. But thank you so much for everything you did. I hope you had a
course.
good time. And
I had a fantastic time.
yeah,
And let me tell you, this week we've been rolling in just wins after wins. I gotta show you guys something that I got as my parents came in. A cannoli. You want to know why?
Good on you. Good on
The-
you.
The
What's it-
dessert
what,
place.
cannoli?
A
What's a
cannoli.
cannoli?
Want to know? A cannoli is this beautiful pastry,
Oh
hard
my God,
shell,
you don't know what
cream
a
on the
cannoli is?
inside.
Well, you're,
Come on.
You're British.
The
so I
reason
mean-
is here in Jersey, here where I'm from, New Jersey. We had a little bit of a national holiday or state holiday this week. A lot of people don't know this. They're just like, whatever. What's going on? Why is everybody happy in Jersey? We're usually so angry.
Yeah.
So much so that the dessert place like across the street did like 25% off cannolis because the prequel to the Sopranos movie,
How you like that,
the
Matt?
trailer released.
Only in
Everybody
New York,
around
only in
me-
Jersey.
Yeah,
that
and especially in our area because James Gandolfini lived here for a very long time. So we're all like we're all like partying just because of the show about
that's
mobsters.
amazing. That's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
great.
Can you hold the cannoli into the camera?
Oh my
Oh,
God,
cannolis
please,
is
look.
so good.
Meme this, please.
Mrs.
That
Boom
looks
does not like
amazing.
cannolis. Not a fan. Not a fan.
I'm large and
love
in
it.
charge, so like I'll eat anything, but like cannolis? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, you could just put me in the hospital right now. You can find me though. Listen, the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. We don't do YouTube stuff often, but we do post our podcasts over on YouTube.com/PS Trophy Room. You could just search the Trophy Room, a PlayStation show on YouTube. You get the video version there. Where we really strive on is on podcast feeds. So if you have Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. So check out the Trophy Room of PlayStation podcast at PS Trophy Room on Twitter and Mr. Badbit on Twitter. And yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, I'm here most of the time. Next few weeks I won't be as much, but honestly, just text away. Let me know, and I'll drop by. I'll talk something.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming over, man. Oh,
Of
cheers,
course.
bro.
What is he? What did he bring you?
It's just
You
me
have to
bought me a
share.
glass of water.
Oh, okay.
There's not
Boring.
alcohol there. Yeah. And so last but certainly not least is one of the most hardworking podcasters in the scene. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, I always have a great time to hang out with you, man. You get the craziness, you get to get on here, you can get the curse a little bit, which is always nice. I try to keep my stuff. But no, this was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with Mr. Badbit third day in a row, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and of course I got to hang out with AC yesterday on Breakfast with Boom and Gaz. We're always hanging out one way. This was great. Chat was fantastic as always, and obviously you know where to find me, folks, at Mr. Boomstick XL on Twitter. DMs are open for everyone. You want to strike up a conversation. You want to come on the show. I give people first shots all over the place. And of course, if you're interested in subscribing to Double Barrel Gaming, I have 4 live shows per week. This week I did 5 because I did Monday through Friday shows live, and you get honesty, you get positivity, you get laughter, you get fun, you get facts because I do my homework with these topics. I go. And the show notes I write are just ridiculous. That's because
you don't see them, guys, but we do. They're paragraphs.
They're
For the
ridiculous.
guests, for the guests only.
Yeah,
This is
but thank you so much for having me, guys. And after soon as I'm done here, I'm going to start cooking dinner.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
absolutely.
what do you make? What do you make, Boom?
Chicken and potatoes. Nothing crazy.
Okay, nothing crazy.
Keep it simple.
But seriously, support Boom because he is literally the most supportive, if not one of the most supportive people out here.
Appreciate that.
100%. Always supporting us,
Fantastic
always
human
retweeting our stuff, always driving people to us. You're too nice.
No,
Way too nice.
you know what?
Can't wait
I love doing that. I think more people need to do it. I think it's important for content creators of every size. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
whether you have 100,000 subs or 1,000 subs. I think it's important, if you like someone, if you like the work that they do, support that work. Push their work.
Yeah.
Don't worry about you losing a sub or losing
Yeah.
a view. Don't worry about that. Help
Yeah.
others. And again, maybe that's the police officer for me. Maybe I'll never get away from doing that, but I
Good
always
point.
wanted to do that in uniform. I do it out of uniform. And I think it's super important for us to support each other.
Absolutely. And it's why Game On Daily exists. A lot of people, someone from Xbox Era, we were talking today, and he didn't realize we were an aggregation platform. People said, what the hell is that? Basically, everyone, Boomstick, you, Badbit, can upload your video on our website. It's literally just a couple of clicks, make references there. You can put your article. You can create articles. We had a gent last week create an amazing article on the Avowed. It went into detail. We'll give you the tools. You do it on the site. It's so easy. Literally, as easy as you can make it. You can share other articles, website. You want to be a journalist. You want to be a YouTuber. Everything is there on GameOnDaily.com. That's what news aggregation is, and there's so much coming in. We've got a lot of videos coming in the works. So I got one Battlefield video that has been delayed, but it's almost finished. Should be out on Monday. But so do check it out. Do check out GameOnDaily.store for our merchandise for the source. Do check out our partners. Check out Double Barrel Gaming and Mr. Badbit's channel, which Isla has kindly pasted on the chat as always. Thanks. Shout out to Isla for the intros. Asa, do you want to do the outros definitively like you do with all the topics?
We can end it here. Just guess what you're saying about Game On Daily. It is a news aggregation site, but it's not just a news aggregation site. It's like a community-driven one. We pretty much exist to help communities form, find each other, and help content creators connect with those communities. So please do sign up, use it, make some connections on there, recommend some content to friends, help people find the content that they're going to love. So we do make some content. We've got a YouTube channel, but it is not our focus. Our focus is uplifting other content creators and helping communities. And we are going to be around for a long time doing that. So give it a little bit of support and we will appreciate it. Thank you both for the guests for coming on the show. You've both been great, both been talking on point for the whole thing. Chat's been great as always. My outros, Isla's just punched a load of links in the chat. They are mine. I stream on Twitch pretty much every day. And I'm here, I'm on Game On Daily, I'm on Twitter. So look me up and have a chat if you want to. And we will end there. Have a great weekend. Enjoy 4th of July if you're over that side of the pond.
Oh, happy Independence Day.
Dude, there's fireworks already starting.
There you go, already been enjoyed. We'll see you here next week.